So let's talk about this Dallas and OKC game. In this Dallas and OKC game, we saw the Dallas Mavericks take the win with an impressive performance, honestly, and mostly on the defensive end. How they shut down OKC was pretty amazing. I do want to say that OKC's plan was pretty illogical, as they were just allowing for the Dallas shooters to be open, which is something that you don't want to do when they have guys on the team which they signed just to shoot. And this was the reason mostly why Dallas won. PJ Washington especially had the best game out of anybody not named Luka Doncic and or Kyrie Irving, but PJ Washington was the leading scorer of this game, and he had five threes, 11 field goals, great efficiency, 6 rebounds, and he was a +6 when he was on the floor. The biggest thing for Kyrie Irving and Luka was the fact that the clutch sense in this game was there. This game was a very competitive one. It was mostly close all of the time, and I would say that in terms of the defensive strategy for Dallas, I don't think it was one which was very effective. I think the fact was that on defense they were trying to hide Luka Doncic in the paint and have guys like Gafford or Lively uh, push up on the guards, which created a lot of mismatches, and created a lot of rim runs for OKC. I believe that the biggest proponent in this game when it comes to difference was the fact that Dallas just rebounds so much more than OKC. In total, they got 7 more rebounds, but they got 15 offensive rebounds, and Oklahoma City got 6. And I believe that this was the biggest difference in this game. Like, the amount of rebounds that they were getting was not a normal amount of offensive rebounds. Because Chet Holmgren, as good as he is and as many blocks as he had this game, there's something to be said about not being able to grab those crucial rebounds. Like, Luka Doncic had more offensive rebounds than Chet Holmgren in this game, and that's just something that is not should not happen. And I believe that what really stuck out to me in this game was that the stars not named Shea Gilgeous-Alexander were playing badly. Like, Luka wasn't playing 100%. Kyrie wasn't playing 100% until like the fourth quarter, and it was like kind of a sluggish game for most of the stars. I believe that Dallas won because of pure effort, and the real reason why they managed to keep the lead and win was because of Kyrie, because he just entered nuclear mode as soon as the fourth quarter started, and that was a big reason as to why they were able to win. Making passes, tough passes like the one where he split the double team to Gafford, making the threes, consistently. Well, he did not shoot a great percentage, but he did in the end make important threes, being able to get drive attention away from Tim Hardaway so that he could shoot, and managing to have this complete explosion when it mattered the most. I believe that the biggest problem for OKC, and we're going to see this for the entirety of the playoffs, it mostly has to do with the young guys not being treated as stars. Because with Chet Holmgren and Shea, you saw them not get used. Well, not Shea, but with Chet Holmgren, you saw them not get used to the full potential that they could be used. But back to Kyrie, Kyrie went absolutely nuclear. He hit that, tough floater right when he was being guarded in front of Chet. Then on the next possession, he hit a turnaround fadeaway on Dort. Then he hit that spinning fade away, the other one, the one where he did two spins on Jalen Williams, and he was just absolutely cooking in the fourth quarter. I think in the end he might have scored like 8 to 10 points, maybe more in the fourth. And a big reason as to why he was so effective was because of the fact that he had a complete, green light to shoot whatever he wanted, and he was taking them with confidence. Then he got that off-ball foul, and then in the end, obviously, he hit the shot to win them the game after hitting the toughest floater, which we like in the playoffs, and a game winner basically, which sealed the game for them. Kyrie went nuclear, so that was it for the Cleveland Cavaliers and Celtics game. I believe that the biggest problem in this game was that they were switching everything. They were allowing Tatum and the guards to have a big man on them because they did not want a, the pick and roll action. So what they would do was that they would not switch it correctly, and that caused a lot of very important plays for the C's to be made, especially through Tatum. Tatum exploded in this game, having like 33 points, and I think it was 10 rebounds, 15 rebounds. And the biggest reason as to why was that he never had the person who was supposed to be guarding him. In the first three that he made, he scored 12 points in the first quarter and 6 in the second. In the first one, he was matched up against Darius Garland, the point guard. Then in the second one, it was against Donovan Mitchell. And the biggest reason why they couldn't get anything to go was because they were just putting whoever on him that was not named Max Strus. And then they would run that stupid pick and roll, right? And then they would force the switch. And when Donovan Mitchell has to guard somebody, it is not good. Cleveland has good defenders like Dean Wade. They have good players, which can actually play defense. But the problem was in this game was that they were playing this switch heavy, like Jayson Tatum when he got that dunk on Evan Mobley. And when Boston forces that switch and you allow them and you don't plan for the switch, I don't think JB Biggerstaff was planning for those switches. It caused them to honestly get a lot of free offense. Now, with that being said, Cleveland in that same manner also did force a lot of switches. I believe that the biggest problem with Cleveland was not being able to stop transition offense or fast offense from Boston. As we know, Boston has so many great pieces that they can just explode at any time, but it seemed like they were just always going downhill. It seemed like they were just always being able to force them into tough situations, and when they would miss, Boston was not waiting for them to get down the court. Boston was running and forcing them to run, right? And that was the biggest thing for them. I do want to say shout out to Donovan Mitchell for having the best game out of anybody. He had 33 points and he was absolutely playing out of his mind. And I believe that one of the biggest issues is the fact that he doesn't really have any help. Like with the Celtics, especially in this game, Jayson Tatum had a great game with 33 points, 6 assists, 13 rebounds. Jaylen Brown had a great game with 28 points, 3 assists, and 9 rebounds. And then Drew Holiday had a phenomenal game with 18 points, 5 assists, and 8 rebounds. But the problem with the Cavs is that there's nobody really helping Donovan Mitchell. They're all just kind of adding to him. And I think that the biggest reason as to why is because Darius Garland is not playing to the level that he normally plays at. If Darius Garland were to actually be able to distribute the ball correctly, I feel like that would make it easier on a guy like Mobley to be able to keep himself, in tune. Because when Donovan Mitchell has to self-create everything, right, and when he has to basically carry the team into their points and into their switches, it becomes a big thing for your team when you're that relying on one player. And trust me, This is not like the Knicks, where they actually play hard and play defense. This is the Cavs. They're very different, and they do not play the same style of basketball.